Steve. Thanks for taking the time to chat with me today.
Hi, Vicky.
How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Very good.
Excellent. So we're trying something new. We're going to try and do some videos. This is the first one, hopefully won't be the last one. Hopefully this will be a semi-regular thing. I don't even know what we're going to call this little series of chats, but I'm hoping that people will enjoy them. So the aim of this really is just to engage more with our community, give people a little bit of a peek inside Syrinscape at who we are. We can chat about all sorts of nerdy things, because we are all nerds here at Syrinscape. So I'm hoping this will give people a little bit of an insight into who we are and the people behind Syrinscape. And there's going to be a new topic every week. And this topic this week is going to be conventions. But before we get into that, shall we introduce ourselves so people know who we are? Would you like to go first?
Okay, yeah. Well, hi everyone. I'm Steve Barr. I'm the community and content manager for Syrinscape. So if ever you contact us at customer support or on the forums or anything like that, I'll be the person that you will most likely be speaking to. And obviously, as and when we were going to shows, you would always see me at those manning the booth, which is something I'm really missing at the moment.
You can tell me more about that in a moment because I have no idea what that is. I'm Vicky. I am the social media ambassador here at Syrinscape, and if you interact or comment on any of our social media posts, it will usually come to me. So that's very nice. So let's start talking about conventions, shall we? So conventions is not something that we are doing this year, unfortunately, and I feel like I'm going to be missing out on a massive part of that experience, but it's something that I'm very much looking forward to. So what does convention season usually look like for Syrinscape?
Very, very busy. So we go to about 9 or 10 conventions a year. So doing convention season is literally every month. We're traveling all over the place. We have them in some great places. We go to southern France, we go to America, the UK, Germany, Australia, which is obviously where Syrinscape's based. So all of your big ones, like obviously Cannes, the International Festival du Jour, I believe it's called, UKGE, Gen Con. We've got Essen in Germany, PaizoCon, which is a big firm favourite of ours, PAX Unplugged, PAX Oz, and of course we've recently started doing the D&D live ones as well. So yeah, we kind of get out to a lot of them.
That is a lot. That's going to be busy. That's a lot for me to look forward to for next year for sure. So you mentioned UKGE in there. You and myself are both in the UK, so that is one of the big ones for us, and that's actually the only convention that I've ever attended as a person, not for work. But that's coming up. So I thought maybe we could focus in on that and maybe share some memories or highlights from previous UKGEs. So
Sounds fun.
have you only ever attended UKGE for work, or have you done this, were you attending it before you even worked for Syrinscape as a regular person?
Yeah, so I only started attending UKGE through work, but that was actually kind of not too soon after they started doing the UKGE shows. So we've been exhibiting at them for quite a few years now. But obviously, I've been a big gamer for many, many years, starting off with the old first edition. So I used to actually we used to have a Gen Con that happened in the UK.
What?
And I used to go, oh yeah,
Oh,
I used to
I did not know
go off
that.
in London.
Wow.
So I used to attend that all the time when I was younger. And then I just didn't have the time to go to them. So I stopped going to them. That show stopped. And I've always kind of missed being able to get to the shows. And then obviously kind of when I started getting involved with Syrinscape, it was a great opportunity for me to get back into the shows again. So yeah, my first one that I went to, I actually just volunteered and helped Ben out on his booth. But back at that point, we literally had a table with a black tablecloth and two little plug-in speakers. It was
What year
yeah,
was
it was
that?
an interesting
Do you
setup.
remember? What year was that?
I think that was probably 2015, maybe 2016. So it may have been 16 because it may have actually been the same year that we won the ENnie, which is the big gaming award that they have there at the show.
Very nice.
I can seem to remember Ben going off for that and coming back very, very excited.
Oh. Yeah, I think I've been to UKG 3 years running, so 2017, 2018, and 2019, and that was actually where I first heard of Syrinscape and discovered Syrinscape. You had the booth set up, you were asking people to go in and record something, but
Oh, the sound cave.
every time I went past, I could hear screaming, and it was terrifying. And my boyfriend said to me, "Oh, you've always wanted to do some voice acting. Why don't you have a go?" I was like, "I'm not going in there. I don't know what they're doing to people." Um, and every time I walked past, I thought about going in. And I was like, I'm too scared.
Oh,
You sound like you're
you should
murdering people in there.
definitely, if you see us at the show, you should definitely come along. Basically, we just kind of record the audience, and those voices are then all kind of combined together and put into our different sound sets.
Yeah.
So for Call of Cthulhu, we did the voices of the Shaggoth. So we've kind of got hundreds of different people all saying the same line, but their voices all blended in together to give this really eerie kind of sound.
Cool.
We've got kind of crowds from Waterdeep that we've gathered at shows. We actually had a Gen Con sound set that was people talking as themselves, but then you've got the dragon that swoops down and the crowd will start screaming. It's brilliant fun.
Yeah, I was far too nervous to come and give it a go. But obviously, like, you guys made an impression, and Ben made an impression. I ended up chatting with him randomly in the line at Starbucks. And since then I've kind of followed you on social media, and now I work for you guys, so that is the journey. But yeah, I first found out about you guys at UKGE, so that's really cool. You mentioned some awards and stuff. What sort of awards, can you go into those a little bit more?
Yeah, so Ben is actually probably your best person to speak to on this one, to be fair. But the big one that I know is like I said, we won a big ENnie, which was like a big award in the UK. That was for our Dragon's Demand sound set. It was like the best supporting product.
So cool.
And that kind of went to a big panel of judges, and the community also kind of got to vote. And they absolutely loved that sound set, and so they should, because I mean it's got some fantastic sounds in there, and obviously dragons, lots and lots of dragons, which are always a firm favourite of mine.
I just found that out, that you were a massive dragon nerd.
Yeah, we may have just nerded out on dragons a little bit before this show.
Yeah, we definitely nerded out on dragons, but we could save that for another time. We could nerd out another time over dragons. We definitely should have done that on this show, but I didn't know that was going to happen. Just it just happens naturally, doesn't it? But I should have definitely captured that. So what have been some of your favorite moments and memories and highlights of past UKGEs?
There's been so many. I mean, obviously, I loved kind of speaking to a lot of the people that come to the show, a lot of the crowd, and it's lovely because I don't live too far away from the NEC anyway, so it's always my local show. There's lots of people there that I know personally, so it's lovely to kind of see them and to catch up. And there's lots of people that have become friends over the years. You know, obviously you go to the same shows year in, year out. You always speak to the same faces. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things I've really missed this last year and a half, really, is kind of going to shows and meeting up with my convention family. So obviously speaking to those people is one of my big favourites. But then we have so many kind of just little things that we do at the shows, which I just really love. So I don't think we've ever even talked about this with you, Vicky. We do a thing called Syrinscape Live at a lot of shows. Okay. Okay, Sideskip Live is basically it's a seminar, I suppose is the best way to describe it. Ben runs a game where he has a panel of players, and we've had some fantastic people that have played with us, like Paul Flannery, who does Nightmare Live.
Yes, I'm a big fan of his, actually.
Yeah, Amanda Hammond, who I mean, she was at Paizo at the time, but she's now obviously working with Wizards of the Coast. Mm-hmm. Mike Mason, one of the main leads from Call of Cthulhu. Jason Borman, a great friend of ours anyway from Paizo, and John Kovalik, the kind of fantastic artist and comic illustrator. They kind of come along, and we normally have like 4 people on the panel, but we seem to always kind of stick to these same players, and we kind of mix it around a little bit. Basically, Ben runs them through a totally wacky adventure, but the audience are armed with red and green cards. And at key moments, then we'll ask the audience for a decision, and you hold up a card, whether it's a yes or a no, or which answer you want. So the audience pretty much dictates the way that the game goes.
That sounds amazing.
On top of that, the players get to choose what rule system they want to use. So it's not all the same rule system. So I think in one game, most of them were rolling dice. Jason Borman decided that he wanted to play Dread Jenga. So he's trying to pull blocks out of his Jenga table whilst everyone else is throwing their dice across the table, trying to knock Jason's tower down.
Amazing. It sounds like complete chaos, and I'm here for it.
It is, and it's all obviously to this accompanied by Syrinscape.
Obviously.
But again, because the adventure is so kind of mad and kind of just out there, and the players are just going totally random, Syrinscape ends up getting a little bit random as well, because Ben's trying so hard to concentrate on playing the sounds, GMing, and just trying to keep them under some type of control.
So what you're saying is our DJ Ben needs his own DJ.
Yeah, he really does. He really does.
Oh, it sounds like so much fun.
And then the other thing we do, which the Saturday Night Live. So it's a big kind of game of Pathfinder that happens. And it used to be our friend Rob Silk, who was one of the venture captains for the UK, would run this big game where you would have maybe 200 people sat in the big rooms, all around tables of maybe 6 to 8 players.
Mm-hmm.
He would read the main piece of the narration, the main storyline, and then it would go to individual table GMs who kind of direct a fight, for example. We provide all the sounds for that. And there was one particular adventure where Rob had given me the adventure in the morning, so I had to build all of the sounds ready for it for his evening show.
Oh my God.
And we decided that we wanted to just really mix up the immersion. And there's this particular scene where these barbarians are meant to charge into the camp, and they kind of stop beating their weapons against their shields and kind of getting quite offensive. And the players are meant to try to mediate and talk to them. So we built the sounds for it, but we were thinking, how could we really build this up? And then we remembered that in the yard outside the NEC, you always have that Viking village.
The Vikings and the orcs, yeah, of course. Yeah.
So we went and spoke to the Vikings and invited them to come and join us for the game.
Amazing.
So players didn't know about this. It gets to the scene where it happens. Rob describes that there's a bellowing sound coming. Syrinscape kicks in, and then the door bursts open, and all of these Vikings come charging in, banging their shield and kind of running around all the rooms. The players, just the looks on their faces, they just didn't know how to react.
That's a whole new level of immersion. That's amazing.
So, and yeah, just so many kind of just little things that we do like that. Lots of games that we have. We always love kind of getting together and playing games as well ourselves when we're there. So you'll quite often find us in the bar. So everyone else has kind of got all the drinks and kind of relaxing. We're all there with our dice and our game books because that's who we are.
I will look forward to that. Now, I don't think I've forgotten about Man in the Booth. What the heck is Man in the Booth? You mentioned that earlier. You said you enjoyed being the man in the booth, and I was like, I don't know what that is.
Manning the booth, just working on the booth.
I thought you said the man in the booth.
No. Manning the booth. So, yeah, I kind of, you'll pretty much always find me on the booth. I do have a walk around the hall, but I like it behind the booth, kind of talking to people, showing them what Syrinscape is, demoing the sound sets, and I'm just kind of mixing with everybody.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that, actually. So, unfortunately, we're not going to UKGE this year, but hopefully next year. And then we'll have many more memories and many more highlights and probably some more awards under our belt.
We certainly hope so. Yeah, I mean, the last couple of years have been very hard for us in the sense that we've not been able to get to any shows. And unfortunately, because we're based all around the world, and we each have different travel restrictions and things, and it's just made it impossible for the team to sadly get together and to get to any of the shows. But we really are missing them, and it's been pretty heartbreaking having to say no to so many of the people that we love to be able to support. But yeah, next year we are hoping, touch wood, that we will be back in full strength and kind of hitting up as many as we can. Maybe even try to tuck a couple of extra shows in under our belt as well that we're in discussion with. So
I'll very much look forward to that. I mean, we're lucky that we both live in the same country and not too far away, so we actually have been able to meet up a couple of times, which has been lovely.
Yeah, it's been pretty yeah, it's unusual for Sidescape staff to ever actually be able to meet in person
Yeah.
other than at an event. So
Yeah.
it's been quite good.
It's been nice. And obviously more chats like this would be lovely.
Definitely.
Always a
Yes.
pleasure speaking to you, Steve. I think that might be all we've got time for today.
That's lovely. Well, thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you so much, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks,
Lovely.
Steve.
Well, thanks, all. Bye bye.
Have a great day.